Hey, welcome to the Faces of U.S. Missions, where we connect with individuals behind U.S. Missions, diverse ministries, and initiatives.
And America has become the melting pot to more than 500 people groups.
Hey, welcome to the Faces of U.S. Missions, where we connect with individuals behind U.S. Missions, diverse ministries, and initiatives. I'm Pastor Choco, Executive Director of U.S. Missions, and today I have the privilege of sitting down with my good friend, Pastor J.R. Rodriguez, the Senior Director of Intercultural Ministry. Welcome, J.R.
Pastor, good to see you and good to be here with you.
Glad that you're a part of this team. We took you out of Houston, brought you over here to Springfield. Boy, I tell you, you led a great district out there for 14 years. Was it 14 years? 14 years. You started that district. And I approached you, I don't know, it was maybe 5 months ago, 6 months ago. Yeah. And we talked about this, and here you are leading the senior director, being the senior director of Intercultural. Hey, why don't you introduce yourself briefly, explaining your calling to the people that are watching about where you're from and your family, a little bit of that.
Yes, well, J.R. Rodriguez, and I used to be the former superintendent for the Texas-Louisiana Hispanic District, which we did create, and pastored Vida City Church there in Houston. I had always wanted to hear God's audio voice, and I didn't know it was going to come through you.
Thus saith the Lord.
Yes, I got that call from you, and you know, your heart for America. And at first, I was like resistant. I didn't feel that. I thought you were just playing at that time, but you weren't. And after some conversations, I felt that God was releasing me from being the superintendent, and that I felt that we had done a good job to the point that God was entrusting us, not just with the eastern part of Texas and the whole state of Louisiana, that he says, I can trust you with all 50 states. And ever since we've come here, we are learning to love Springfield. It was something that was never in my radar.
Right.
But more than that, loving the assignment of seeing people saved, transformed by the power of God through our missionaries, through our efforts here. And like we've always discussed, you know, we've been very good. We've mastered going to our Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth at the expense of our Jerusalem. And so it's been an eye-opener big time. And the more we engage, the more we talk with our missionaries, the more we're falling in love.
Yeah. Now, there are many people that are watching this, JR. When they think about intercultural ministry, why don't you introduce us to that ministry? For those that are watching, that's one of the 7 ministries here at U.S. Missions that we have. Intercultural is one of them. He is the senior director, and all the missionaries that fall under that report directly to him. So, but introduce Intercultural. What is that?
Intercultural is reaching the diverse groups of people that are here in the United States, here in America. One report says that every 33 seconds, an immigrant crosses into the United States.
Wow.
And America has become the melting pot to more than 500 people groups that are not in mainstream society. They're groups that are coming, and they speak over 600 languages. That's not even including the Native American and the Native Alaskan.
Right, right.
And so each of these groups, they have their unique challenges, unique languages.
Right.
And so our missionaries are prepared to encounter them with the love of Jesus Christ and display the gospel in a way that they can understand in their culture. And so that's the challenge that we have, and we're loving it. Our missionaries are very passionate about it, and trying to do everything they need to do to be able to reach these groups.
One of the things I love about you, Jared, when you jumped into this, you were all in. You even went to Alaska.
Yes.
And you travel Alaska on one of those one propeller planes, a Cherokee, if you will, got on a canoe, went through a river. Tell us a little bit about your experience when you just came from that a few weeks ago.
Yes.
But regarding Alaska.
Well, I tell you what, Alaska, aside of being so beautiful in its geographic and the scenery and everything, there is a lot of need.
Mm.
Literally, when there is darkness because the sun doesn't shine as much, it's
Right.
really portraying the darkness that there is spiritually in Alaska.
Right.
And the missionaries are doing a phenomenal job there in Alaska. One of the things that they're doing is using Alaska's resources. Let me explain to you. Alaska has what's called the Alaskan Student Partnership. And so some of the students that are graduating from, let's say, Fairbanks University, well, Alaska's needing teachers. So Alaska will pay the teachers and give them housing. So what U.S. Missions is doing is, let's take advantage of that. We'll go to these indigenous villages where they're needing teachers.
Right.
They're giving us housing, and let's begin to witness. And let's become a light in the darkness, with the goal that they could start house churches.
Okay.
And so those are one of the things that they're doing. They're building there in one of the hubs, in one of the cities there, Bethel, a hub to be able to train all these natives to go through the Bible school courses and begin to church plant. Alaska's really needing our support. There are a lot of projects that we can help in because also the economy is not that great over there.
That's right.
And so when I went over there, my heart was really moved. I'm glad my wife didn't go, because she probably would have sold our house to make sure they did everything they needed to do. My wife has a big heart for missions. And so, yes. And because of her, we're able together to do what we're doing with AGUSM.
Tell us a little bit. How many? And there's quite a few missionaries under you. How many missionaries are under?
Human trafficking is one of them. We have the deaf culture. We have ministry to the Muslims, ministry to the Jews, ministry to Hispanics, any cultural group.
Okay.
But we also have special needs as well for special need children and adults. They have camps for that.
Okay.
They even have Indian youth camps as well. One of the reports on that was this last camp that they had this summer, over 200 campers went, and over 95 of those Native American young people gave their lives to the Lord. And so we were excited about that, what God's doing even in the Native American. In your transition,
JR, what would be in a testimony as you traveled and someone shared with you something, one of your missionaries said, here's what happened.
Yeah.
What would be something that you want to share with the folks that are watching?
Well, one of the things I've learned was with special needs. They have a camp for special needs families and kids, and it gives them an opportunity for the parents to kind of chill, relax during that week. And they're there, but the staff and the workers, the volunteers that have been trained, take care of the kids. They, do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they have a worship team made up of disabled, challenged kids.
Wow.
With Down syndrome, etc. And they have a worship team, and they lead worship. And not only that, sometimes we feel that they have a free ticket to heaven. But the Holy Spirit, some way, somehow, how he knows how to do it, knows how to minister to these kids, and they accept the Lord at that camp, and they're being baptized.
Yeah.
Another one is anti-human trafficking. We have one of our missionaries, Valerie, and they go to the strip clubs. They go in, somehow they go in and they bypass those bouncers. They go into the dressing rooms, and they begin to witness to these girls. And one of them invited one of the girls on a Sunday, on that day for the Sunday. So he goes, sometimes we can go years. We sow the seeds and sometimes you don't even get to see, somebody else will see the harvest of it. But this time she invited one of those girls, strip club girls, and on that Sunday she came. Wow. She gave her life to the Lord.
That's awesome.
And then one of them is already, because she worked at the strip club, gets saved. She's going after her friends to say, hey, there's a better life in Jesus. And so when you hear those testimonies, you rejoice, because you feel that as a senior director, you you're there journeying with your missionaries, making sure they got their boots on the ground, making sure they got what they need to be able to do what God has called them to do. So when you see lives transformed like that,
for sure,
Mandy, she's always at the Seek and Save.
Yeah.
In Queens, I think there was 9 children that were found.
That's right.
Just recently here in, I think it was in
Philadelphia.
I think they found another 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so when you see that, it's not just finding a kid. Do you imagine what that does to the whole family that have been praying, that have been, where are my kids? Are they alive? Are they dead? Etc. And to be able to get a news, hey, here's your child.
Right.
And so yeah, we're determined to win America. And you've said it, Pastor Choco, that in the times that we're living in, are we willing even to get arrested?
Yes.
And I've thought of that. I've heard you say that. I came one day here in your office. I said, Pastor Choco, I need your DNA, man. I mean, I thought I was pretty bold and everything. But man, you're talking about, where the rubber's now meeting the road.
Absolutely.
And I think I would be able to say, yeah, if I got to take a bullet, we'll take a bullet. You know, my wife has been wanting to go to the gun range.
Yeah.
Right? Because she says, I need to learn to carry. If I'm going to go to these, with these girls to rescue these prostitutes and human trafficking, and I'm thinking, girl, I can't even shoot a BB gun, and you want a pack.
Wow.
But we'll do what it takes, And thank you so much for that call, for that call, because again, being a pastor.
Yeah,
we were number 1 in our district in giving to missions, but I have to confess it was always foreign missions, APWM. And when we came here, I kick myself, I scold myself, I'll go in front of the mirror and yell at myself, Jer, where have you been? Here in Houston. Houston is one of the number 1 hubs for human trafficking.
Wow.
We have one of the biggest ambulatory Parenthood there, where at 9 months they can still abort, a child. And so it has opened up a passion, a love for America, and even a love for Springfield. Really. Yeah.
Well, if you've tuned in, I'm talking with J.R. Rodriguez, Senior Director of Intercultural Ministry, which is one of the 7 ministries here at U.S. Missions. And they have a rate of missionaries, over 200 missionaries, touching different groups of people. Jared, there's a pastor that's watching right now. What is it, something that you feel like that they can do, their church and their prayer teams? What is something that you would say to them, hey, can you do this for us?
Yes. Well, first of all, if you would call AGUSM office and ask what or how can we partner with AGUSM? First of all, we would give you the list of missionaries, not just for Intercultural, all 7 ministries missionaries, to see who you're partnering with. Not only that, we would ask you to come see and do. What I mean by that is come see what some of our missionaries are doing on the field and do with them on the field for 3-4 days. It'll give you an opportunity to partner with our missionaries to see what they're doing. If you're not sponsoring, supporting, financially, you might be able to do that. If you see the project, God may move in your heart to help financially with that project. And not only that, but with the team that you would come and see and do, it could be that that's all it takes. The God has been tugging on a young person, on a couple, on missions, and that mission visit to see and do what they're doing on the mission field could be the tug that will say, you know what? I now know where God's calling me. I now know what God is directing me to do. And so, of course, your prayers, praying that God will give us wisdom to discern and to understand the times, like the tribe of Issachar, and know what we have to do. And at the same time, that you would pray for our teams, that despite of how we're ministering to the different cultures, we will never deviate from displaying the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's the only thing that will change their lives.
Well, Pastor, those that are watching the faces of U.S. Missions, you have an opportunity. 54% of the churches of the Assemblies of God churches do not give to U.S. Missions. We need to turn that. Yeah. And you're hearing from a man that's out there in the field, touching lives with the missionaries, telling you things that are happening not somewhere over the ocean. It's happening in your backyard. This is our Jerusalem. Thank you for tuning in for the Faces of U.S. Missions. I'm Pastor Choco, and we are U.S. Missions. Together we seek, save, and send. God bless you all.